Good morning. Here we go. As I trip over a root. Hey, I wanted to talk about something that came from one of my videos that's kind of doing kind of well about wage slavery and why I think that you can control if you're a wage slave or not, but why at least 85%, ooh, dark, 85% of people will not be able to break their bonds and they'll be stuck at being wage slaves for the rest of their lives. And that's sad. So, hi, I'm David, and I'm going on my morning walk. It's a little foggy today. Birds are chirping. It's a beautiful day. Even with this fog and cloudy weather, I'm happy to be alive. And I saw that one of my videos about, the words you use matter, and I was talking specifically a portion of it about wage slavery and how you shouldn't use that word because that limits your mind and it kind of puts those mental shackles on you so that you're stuck in there. Now, I was reading where 85% of the people say they were surveyed, I think in a Harvard survey, that when they were surveyed, they said that they don't bother, and this is working class, they don't bother reading or learning a new skill. So to get ahead. So I can understand that because there was times when I was stuck in a job and I didn't read any books. I didn't learn new skill sets. I just sat there and whined about how I wasn't making any money and things, and I was just more stressed about how to pay the bills and everything. I thought if I just did, sold one more thing or did one more thing, I'd make the money. So I was kind of like trapped in a loop. And it wasn't until I started changing that, and then opportunities started popping up in my life. And one of those was when I had an opportunity at the right time to become a roof inspector. Now, I did that very well, and I made really good money doing that. But then I had my accident. But I believe everything happens for a reason. So it could have been a lot worse. But let's get back to wage slavery and the mindset of that and the limiting beliefs that just believing in that word can have for you. Yes, I know I had some other comments saying, oh no, if you call it, it's all the same thing because it's like saying you're deceased instead of using passed away. It's just trying to sugarcoat it. Well, and some other gentlemen made comments about, well, it's the companies they should be doing this or they should be paying more and thinking more about the people and stuff. And I said, well, that kind of jumps away from the point I was making is that you can't rely on a company, you can't rely on the government to do what's best for you. You have to flip the narrative and then take action. So you have to change your thoughts, your mindset, and you have to accept responsibility that you're in a job that is treating you like you're a wage slave. Because there may not be actual physical iron or steel chains that are locked you into this job. You may feel that way, you may think that way, but that's not the case. Those are all mental bondages. They're in your mind, these bonds, these shackles, and you placed them there yourself, not the company, not the manager at the company or something. You are an incredible human being. There's like a 1 in a billion chance that you were made. So you have to take charge of that narrative and flip it and put it and take the power that you have to learn new skill sets, to look for new and be open for new opportunities, because like I said, nobody else will. Imagine that 85% of the people in the workforce, they don't even want to learn anything new. They don't read, and then they just gripe and moan about their situation. So, I'm sorry for them, and I was there too, so I felt sorry. And you're in your own little, and I'll go back to using that for a pity party and everything. And I understand the stress of how you're going to pay rent, how to pay food, and if you have a family, oh my goodness, that becomes the burden to provide becomes even stronger and sometimes harder in one's mind, because they're putting all their energy into the fact that they are failing, and they don't take action to do something else. I mean, I refuse to believe that we, as human beings, are that limited in the power of our brains. I know there are people that have mental issues and that have low IQs and things like that. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the fact that, that all this stress and all this other things will eat at our attention, and then you have the outside circumstances, the news and everything that's all negative. It's, my wife was a journalist, and she always says, if it bleeds, it leads. And they called it yellow journalism. Well, that's all you see nowadays on the news. They try to hide it as political debate or political news about this party not doing this or that party doing this. It's all to divide us, and it's all there just to be negative and keep you distracted. Don't fall for that. Break those chains and look at it and say, okay, I'm stressed about money. I'm stressed about providing for myself or my family. What can I do? How can I do this? How can I change this? And when you start asking yourself these questions, and it's not easy to do this. So I understand why 85% of the people don't bother doing it. They just give up, or they just might not have actually taken the time to think about this, because they allow all these other distractions and all these other bills and things to eat away at their energy and their brain power. So I guess what I'm trying to say is, don't be one of those 85% of the population that are stuck being wage slaves, because You don't have to be. You you have to ask yourself. Stand in front of the mirror. There was another quote, and I forgot who said it. He says, it goes something like, when you stand in front of the mirror, you are looking at both your best friend and your worst enemy. And that is so true, because I know, like I said, I was there. I was, for many years, stuck. And it would come and go in waves, where there was times when I was super proactive and I had really great jobs. Like when I worked for the corporate sponsorships, and I worked on site for spring break, so I got to travel a lot, and then I lived in Cancun. There's times when I was in the Army, I got to jump out of planes and all that fun stuff, and some stuff not so fun. And it's just, it comes and goes, so you can change it. You do have the power. I guess that's what I'm just trying to say. So remember, for anyone that is stressing, that's living paycheck to paycheck, or is just comfortable with just getting by, there's so much out there, and it's never been easier to make more money. And remember, on the same note, even though it's easy, and if you go with the mindset of abundance, it becomes easier. But that doesn't mean it's going to happen overnight. Don't say, oh, I read a book and now I'm not rich. Like Think and Grow Rich, or You Were Born Rich, or any of these things, or these self-help books. It's the pure fact of just reading it isn't going to make you rich. It's the action that you take after you learn this new knowledge, or these new topics or skill sets. You have to take action. So that's all I'm saying, and I do wish you all the best, and thanks to everybody. It's amazing, all the great comments, and even the comments that don't agree with me. I think it's just the discourse and the discussion. That's what we're made to be able to do. So please, if you believe you're a wage slave, then yes, you are. But know this: you are the only one that has the power to change that. So I do wish you ask yourself, how can you change this? Oh, win the lottery. Yeah, no. I mean, how can you change this? What can you do? What can you learn that you love to do, or build your skill set so that you become more valuable, and that you can move on to a better job? Because there are these other channels that all they do is talk about wage slavery and how they're stuck at the job because they don't do this or don't do that. And they get like really large followings, and it just becomes like a one big pity party. But what I'm also saying is that a couple of these creators don't really want the people to move away from being wage slaves. All they do, they want their viewers to keep thinking that they're wage slaves, and that the creators are wage slaves. But you see, even when they start doing better, their channel blows up and they're making more money on that channel. The other things that they're doing is making more money. So they're not really wage slaves anymore, but they have to push the narrative so that their viewers can keep watching. Because I think if they start changing that narrative of being a wage slave and harping on that, their channels just crash. So don't do that. And if you watch those channels, take it for what it's worth. that person really trying to improve your lives or just their own? And there's nothing wrong with improving their own lives. That's it. But you have to look, and power to them for, being able to make more money on, pulling a fact and talking about that stuff. So there's nothing wrong with that. It's just that if they have found a way to escape that wage slavery, maybe they should talk a little bit more about that and things like that. That's what I'm saying. You control it. Remember, you can flip that narrative. And I'm just ranting now, so I'll stop there. You guys have a blessed day. All right. Thanks. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I'm so bad at saying that.